Most people think aging is something that just happens to you. Wake up one day, slower metabolism. Wake up the next, brain fog that won't lift. Look in the mirror a few years later and wonder where the sharp, energetic version of yourself went. But what if the real reason you're aging faster than you should has nothing to do with your genetics and everything to do with a switch inside your cells that you're accidentally keeping turned off every single night? There's a biological process running inside your body right now, or rather, it should be running. The Nobel Prize-winning scientists have called one of the most powerful anti-aging discoveries in the history of medicine. It was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology in 2016, and yet most people have never heard of it. It's called autophagy, and in the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly what it is, why modern life has essentially broken it in most people, and the specific science-backed protocol to switch it back on, starting tonight. Stick with this all the way through, because what I'm going to share in the final section is the part most people completely miss, and it's actually the most important piece.
Section 1, what your cells do when you're not feeding them. Let's start with the fundamental question. What is autophagy, and why should you care about it deeply? The word itself comes from Greek. Auto means self, phagy means eating. So autophagy, at its most literal, is the process by which your cells eat themselves. Before you click away, this is a good thing. Think about what accumulates inside your cells over time. Damaged proteins that have lost their shape and can no longer function. Dysfunctional mitochondria, the energy-producing engines of your cells, that are now producing more toxic byproducts than actual energy. Misfolded proteins that, when they accumulate in the brain, have been directly linked to Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and other forms of neurodegeneration. Your body has a system for dealing with all of this. When the conditions are right, your cells construct specialized structures called autophasons, essentially double-walled containers that envelop the damaged cellular components, transport them to structures called lysosomes, and break them down into raw materials. Those raw materials then get recycled to build new, functional cellular components. It's not destruction, it's renovation. Your cells are literally tearing down the damaged walls and using the bricks to build better ones. And when this process is running efficiently, the downstream effects are extraordinary. Reduced systemic inflammation, sharper cognitive function, better insulin sensitivity, more resilient mitochondria, and measurably slower biological aging. The problem is this. Autophagy doesn't run on its own schedule. It runs on yours. And the way most people are living today is almost perfectly designed to shut it down.
Section 2. Why modern life is breaking your cellular cleanup system. There are two molecules you need to understand to grasp why autophagy is suppressed in most people today. The first is mTOR, mammalian target of rapamycin. mTOR is your body's primary growth signal. When mTOR is active, your body is in build mode, making new proteins, storing energy, growing tissue. mTOR gets activated whenever you eat, especially when you consume carbohydrates, which raise insulin, and protein, particularly the amino acid leucine. The second is AMPK, adenosine monophosphate activated protein kinase. AMPK is essentially the opposite signal. It activates when your cells detect that energy is scarce, when you haven't eaten for a while, when glucose is low, when your cells are in a state of nutrient stress. And when AMPK activates, it does something important. It suppresses mTOR and turns on the autophagy pathways. Here's the key insight. mTOR and autophagy cannot run simultaneously at full capacity. They are opposing states. Growth mode or cleanup mode. You are in one or the other. Now look at how most people structure their days. Breakfast at 7 a.m., a snack at 10, lunch at noon, another snack at 3, dinner at 7 p.m., maybe something small at 10 p.m. while watching TV. That's the body staying in mTOR dominant, insulin elevated, growth mode for 15 or 16 consecutive hours every single day. Your autophagy system needs a window of genuine absence of food to properly activate, and most people never give their cells that window. The result is a gradual, years-long accumulation of cellular debris, damaged mitochondria quietly worsening inflammation, misfolded proteins slowly building up in neural tissue, dysfunctional cellular components consuming energy without producing it. This is not a dramatic, sudden decline. It's a slow drift, and it's almost entirely reversible when you understand what to do. Section 3. The timing protocol that activates nightly cellular renewal. Let's get specific,
because this is where most health content falls apart. Vague advice that doesn't actually tell you what to do. The research on autophagy timing tells us something very clear. Significant autophagy induction begins around the 12-hour fasting mark and deepens substantially between 16 and 24 hours without food. This means the practical goal is simple. Give your body a consistent daily window of no caloric input and let that window overlap with your sleep. A straightforward approach. Finish your last meal by 6 to 7 p.m. Break your fast the following day between 10 a.m. and noon. That gives you a 16 to 18-hour window where your body can shift from mTOR dominant growth mode into AMPK dominant cleanup mode. During that fasting window, water, black coffee, and plain herbal tea are fine. None of these significantly activate mTOR or raise insulin. Everything else, even a small snack, restarts the clock. But there's a dimension to this that most people don't hear about: circadian biology. Your body doesn't just respond to whether you ate, it responds to when you ate relative to the sun. Your cells contain internal clocks that are synchronized to light-dark cycles. Autophagy, like many biological processes, has a circadian rhythm of its own. It naturally peaks during nighttime hours, particularly during deep sleep, when your body is already oriented toward repair rather than activity. When you eat your last meal close to or after sunset, you're sending a conflicting signal to that circadian system. Your cells are trying to shift into nighttime repair mode, but they're also processing food. These two states don't mix well. Eating your final meal before sunset, or at least 2 to 3 hours before you plan to sleep, allows your body's internal clock and your fasting-induced autophagy to work together rather than against each other. The compounded effect on overnight cellular cleanup is significant.
Here's the part that most fasting content completely ignores, and it's the part that will determine whether this actually works for you long-term. Autophagy without rebuilding is not anti-aging, it's just breakdown. Your cells need to tear down the damaged components, but they also need raw materials and growth signals to rebuild something better. If you're fasting for extended periods without providing the nutrients your body needs during your eating window, especially protein, you're not reversing aging. You're accelerating muscle loss, weakening your immune system, and driving a different kind of cellular dysfunction. This is why the balance between autophagy and mTOR is not about eliminating one, it's about sequencing them correctly.
Section 4. The feast-famine rhythm. Your biology did not evolve in an environment of constant food availability. It evolved in conditions where periods of eating alternated with periods of genuine scarcity. That rhythm, feast, then famine, then feast again, is what your cellular machinery is optimized for. The practical application is a two-phase approach. The fasting phase is your autophagy window. Daily, aim for 16 to 18 hours without calories. 1 day per week, extend that to 20 to 24 hours to trigger a deeper cleanup cycle. Research has shown that growth hormone, one of the most powerful signals for cellular repair and fat mobilization, can surge dramatically during a 24-hour fast. That hormonal environment during extended fasting creates conditions for cellular renewal that simply don't occur during a standard overnight fast. The feeding phase is where you rebuild. During your 6 to 8 hour eating window, this is not a time for restriction. Your priority is protein, and specifically adequate protein. Target at least 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight, distributed across 2 or 3 meals. This means if your ideal body weight is around 150 pounds, you're aiming for roughly 150 grams of protein daily, roughly 50 grams per meal. Protein during your eating window serves several critical functions. It provides amino acids for the cellular repair processes that autophagy initiates. It activates mTOR for the short, targeted burst of tissue building your body needs. It preserves muscle mass during the fasting periods. And it stabilizes blood sugar in ways that reduces the hormonal chaos that suppresses autophagy. Your best protein sources for this protocol: pasture-raised eggs, wild-caught fatty fish like salmon and sardines, grass-fed red meat, organic poultry, bone broth, and high-quality collagen protein. These are not just protein sources, they're also rich in micronutrients and cofactors that directly support cellular repair processes.
Section 5. Foods and compounds that enhance the cleanup signal. Certain compounds in whole foods have been shown to interact directly with autophagy pathways, not as primary triggers, but as amplifiers when the fasting conditions are already in place. Extra virgin olive oil, specifically high polyphenol varieties, contains compounds like oleocanthal and hydroxytyrosol that activate autophagy pathways and reduce the mitochondrial inflammation that accumulates with cellular aging.
2 to 3 tablespoons daily, used on salads or drizzled over cooked vegetables and proteins, is a consistent, practical dose. Dark chocolate, genuinely dark, 85% cacao or higher with minimal sugar, contains flavanols and polyphenols that have been shown to support autophagy gene expression and provide potent antioxidant activity against oxidative stress. 1 to 2 squares earlier in the day keeps it from affecting sleep quality. Ginger contains gingerol, a bioactive compound with well-documented anti-inflammatory properties and demonstrated effects on autophagy signaling. Fresh ginger root, grated into tea or added to cooked food, is more bioactive than dried powder. Black coffee, consumed during the fasting window, no cream, no sugar, activates AMPK through its caffeine content and contains chlorogenic acid, a compound with direct effects on autophagy pathways. 1 to 2 cups in the morning during the fast is both effective and practical. Green tea contains EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, a catechin antioxidant that has been studied extensively for its effects on autophagy induction and fat oxidation. 2 to 3 cups during the fasting period provides consistent exposure to these compounds. Apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon in a small amount of water before meals, improves insulin sensitivity through its acetic acid content, which in turn supports the lower insulin environment that allows autophagy to activate more readily. On the supplement side, 3 stand out in the research. Berberine, 500 milligrams 2 to 3 times daily with meals, activates AMPK with effects comparable to some pharmaceutical interventions. Curcumin, 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily, ideally with black pepper for absorption, directly activates autophagy genes and reduces the inflammatory environment that accelerates cellular aging. And resveratrol, 250 to 500 milligrams daily, activates sirtuins, the longevity-associated proteins, and has been shown to mimic some of the cellular effects of caloric restriction.
Section 6. Movement, heat, cold, and the compounding effect. Exercise is one of the most potent non-dietary triggers of autophagy. Resistance training, 3 to 4 times per week, with full-body movements and progressive overload, creates the mechanical stress that activates autophagy in muscle tissue, while simultaneously stimulating the mTOR response needed for muscle repair and growth. This isn't a contradiction. It's the sequencing your body is designed for: stress, then repair, then adaptation. Working out in a fasted state amplifies the autophagy response from exercise, since AMPK is already elevated from the fasting. The strategy of training toward the end of your fasting window, then breaking the fast shortly after with a protein-rich meal, captures both the autophagy benefit of fasted exercise and the mTOR stimulus of post-workout protein. Daily walking, 10,000 or more steps spread throughout the day, provides a consistent low-intensity AMPK stimulus, supports lymphatic drainage, and dramatically improves insulin sensitivity over time. Sauna exposure, 15 to 20 minutes at 160 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit for traditional dry sauna, or 130 to 155 degrees Fahrenheit for infrared, activates heat shock proteins that protect cellular structures, enhance protein folding, and directly support autophagy pathways. 3 to 5 sessions per week, totaling 80 to 120 minutes weekly, is the range where meaningful benefits compound. Cold exposure, 30 to 60 seconds of cold water at the end of your shower, or 2 to 5 minutes in a cold plunge at around 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, activates cold shock proteins, triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, and produces a sharp elevation in dopamine and norepinephrine that has real cognitive and metabolic benefits. Earlier in the day is significantly better, as cold exposure in the morning amplifies alertness and metabolic rate throughout the day. Red light therapy, 660 nanometer red and 850 nanometer near infrared, penetrates to the mitochondria and has been shown to enhance energy production, reduce oxidative stress, and indirectly support autophagy through mitochondrial optimization. 10 minutes twice daily, at a distance of 6 to 12 inches from a quality panel, provides consistent benefit. When sauna, cold, and red light therapy are combined, particularly in that sequence, the hormetic stress from alternating heat and cold creates an adaptive response that builds cellular resilience well beyond what any single stressor produces alone.
Section 7. Sleep as the autophagy amplifier you cannot replace. Everything discussed so far compounds or collapses based on one variable: sleep quality. Deep sleep is when autophagy reaches its peak activity. It is also when your brain runs the glymphatic system, a waste clearance mechanism that flushes metabolic byproducts and misfolded proteins from neural tissue during sleep, essentially performing autophagy for your brain. And deep sleep in the early part of the night triggers the largest pulse of growth hormone your body produces, a hormone directly involved in tissue repair, fat mobilization, and biological age reversal. Every hour of deep sleep you get before midnight is doing more physiological work than the equivalent time spent sleeping after midnight. Being in bed by 10 to 10:30 p.m. is not an arbitrary wellness recommendation. It's how you access the hormonal and cellular repair window that makes this entire protocol work. Your sleep environment directly determines sleep architecture. A cool room, 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, allows your core body temperature to drop appropriately for deep sleep. Complete darkness, achieved through blackout curtains or a sleep mask, protects melatonin production. And screens, specifically the blue light they emit, suppress melatonin when used after dark. Blue light blocking glasses worn after sunset, combined with dimmed or warm amber lighting in the evening, protect your circadian melatonin signal and meaningfully improve sleep depth. Magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, 200 to 400 milligrams, taken before bed, has been shown in multiple studies to improve sleep quality, particularly deep sleep architecture. Morning sunlight exposure, even a 10 to 15-minute walk shortly after waking, sets your circadian clock, elevates cortisol appropriately for daytime alertness, and primes your melatonin system for proper evening release. It's the first domino that makes everything else downstream work correctly.
Here's what all of this points to. Biological aging is not a fixed rate. It is a process, and it is, within meaningful limits, a process you can influence. The cellular machinery for repair, renewal, and waste clearance is already inside you. It is not a supplement you need to purchase or a gene therapy you need to wait for. It is a system that evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to activate under specific conditions, conditions that most people in the modern world have accidentally eliminated from their lives. The research on consistent autophagy optimization doesn't show modest improvements. It shows measurable decreases in inflammatory markers, improved telomere length, enhanced mitochondrial density, reductions in biological age markers that diverge from chronological age over months and years of consistent practice. People who implement this systematically often notice the early signals within the first 1 to 2 weeks: better sleep, more stable energy, sharper mental clarity. By months 2 and 3, visible changes in body composition and skin quality. By months 4 to 6, meaningful shifts in the biomarkers that actually predict long-term health outcomes. The process isn't complicated, but it requires consistency, because your cells respond to patterns, not single efforts. Start with one change tonight. Finish your last meal earlier than usual. Protect your sleep environment. Get morning sunlight tomorrow. The biology is already there, waiting for you to give it the right conditions. That's BioShifted, sharing the science your body already runs on, so you can actually use it.